in a new escalation aimed at the port of Hodeidah, amid calls and international efforts to spare the damage and ensure the continuity of the port of urgent humanitarian and commercial purposes. The Iranian Houthi militia closed the eastern gate and carried out booby traps in the area. Sources in the port of Hodeidah said that Al-Houthi terrorist organization has worked a steel fence around the area and the eastern gate, one of the main gates of the port, and they were bombarded with explosives of various types. There's only one entrance gate, the main gate leading to the port road at the main coastline and used by trucks. This is the most dangerous development that threatens the work of the port in response to the visit of a UN delegation to the city and the United Nations to condemn Al-Houthi terrorist organizations and their violations against civilians and vital installations and public threats to blow up and destroy that strategic port. A member of the presidency of the Supreme Council for Resistance of Sana'a, Abdul Karim Thuail, said that the resistance is mobilizing the tribesmen to expel Al-Houthi militia from Sana'a, pointing to the role of the resistance in achieving more popular support for the national army to end the coup and restore the state sought by the Yemeni people. He stressed that the importance of the role of the resistance in Sana'a in the mobilization of sheikhs and tribesmen to achieve more popular support for the national army politically, socially, media, relief and economic to address the militia Houthi coup. The most important rule that is difficult for the leadership of the army exercise because these activities prohibited by law on the military to be carried out only through the components and personalities of political, tribal, parliamentary and media. The head of a family was martyred with his wife and his daughters in a shooting attack launched by Al-Houthi militia in Hayran district of Hajj province. The media center of the 5th military zone quoted medical sources as saying that Ali Khamis al-Hayrani was killed along with his wife and 2 daughters. According to the sources, their only child aged 8 months survived the severe shrapnel and his body, and a woman from the neighboring family was wounded. This comes one day after the death of a citizen in the village of Dir in Hayran. A bombardment of the Houthi militia targeted his home. Since the liberation of Hayran administration, Al-Houthi militia has indiscriminately bombed villages and residential area, causing casualties and damage to homes and farms. The recent dismissing history reported by a human rights organization documented part of the violations and attack carried out by Al-Houthi terrorist militia against the cultural and archaeological sites in Yemen, either by bombing it or turning it into military barracks. The Yemeni human rights organizations filed reports, which included 9 provinces, highlighted the importance of the Houthi militia to control the historical castles and palaces because of its strategic importance in the military battles, revealed the use of the Houthi militia for archaeological sites, military fortifications to launch attacks from them, Houthi attack on the pavement of tourists in Aden, and the location of the Lock in Saada and the palace of Dar Hajar in Lahj. and the Cathedral of Cairo in Taiz, and others. The historical city of Baraqish in Marib, the oldest city in Yemen dating back to 1000 BC, which includes prominent temples, was transformed by the Houthi militia in 2015 into a place to store weapons, the report said. Baraqish, or as is known in the ancient Yemenite inscriptions as Yathal, which was the religious capital of the Kingdom of Ma'in, the oldest city in Yemen. The security services in Marib province foiled the smuggling of large amounts of weeds and drugs belonging to the leaders of the Houthi terrorist wing on their way to Sana'a. The security source confirmed that individuals at a security point were able to arrest 2 trucks, one carrying 193 kilograms of weeds and camouflaged. The security services in the province received the seizures with the people who were on board the car and the driver on the truck to take the necessary action against them and refer them to the prosecution. Al-Houthi militia distributed thousands of leaflets in the streets of the capital Sana'a, which include inviting citizens to attend its political activity in Sab'in Square on Tuesday in November. Al-Houthi militia, the directors of the directorates of the Secretariat of the capital, the sheikhs of the directorates, and the head of the provinces have been preparing and mobilizing for their next political festival. Al-Houthi militia, the owners of the establishments and shops in the capital Sana'a, have committed slogans and decorations for their political effectiveness. The Houthi terrorist militia again eliminated about 800 staff and employees of Sana'a University. Academic sources confirmed that the arguments of the leadership justified by the leadership of the Houthi University of exclusion, citing teams and their absence from work, although many of them do their work on daily basis. It is noteworthy that Al-Houthi militia ended the services of 30 academic members of the faculty of the University of Damar in preparation for the replacement of other loyal to them, and issued a decision earlier to deprive 60 academic from the faculty of the University of Hajj from work. The militia of Al-Houthi attacked a number of houses belonging to the Sheikh and the parliamentary deputy Uthman Mijalli, the Minister of Agriculture and a member of the negotiating team in the government, where they worked on the looting of the houses of Uthman Mijalli, and the militia destroyed everything that could not carry. In a clear new message to tribal Sheikh and parliamentary Uthman Mijalli, Minister of Agriculture, member of the negotiating delegation in the government.